Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5. Over 10 years ago, as the Dark Knight changed things forever, we lost the actor who made it happen. Heath Ledger delivered the ultimate performance that left us eternally wanting more. While we all thought we saw the last of his betrayal as the Clown Prince of Crime, two men unearthed amazing footage of what he might have done next.
The job falls to us to comb over the files and documented exploits of patient 4479 in this ultimate tribute to the role of the lifetime. Let's start today's sessions with Meet Steve. All right, so Dragon, we are still very much, I feel like we are very much tip of the iceberg on this. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I got to admit, part of me is kind of wondering, like, should we be doing these, like, episode by episode? Should we be bunching up? Because this is good stuff, but I don't know if we're going to, like, I'm curious how long the runtime is going to be on this, because it's pretty cut and dry. It's just like, hey, Harleen, you want to see a dead body? I'll show you a dead body. It's basically the first 10 minutes of Stand By Me, Dragon. No, I know, I'm joking. It's not just that, it's not just the dead body thing. But I really like it, though. I'm very tantalized by this, for sure. I mean, you know me, Dragon, the found footage and everything. It's, I don't really have a ton to say about this particular episode beyond what I've just been saying in general with the series, which is that it's just, super intriguing. And honestly, like, just from a perspective of, me as a big found footage fan, and, I was like the perfect age. I was like 18 years old when The Dark Knight came out. So it was like a watershed, right? It was like, oh my God, it's, I was an 18-year-old film fan, Dragon. I mean, that's like the perfect age of like, Dark Knight is like the best freaking thing ever. So this is a marriage made in heaven for me personally. I am savoring every minute of this thing, but that's nothing new. And with this episode in particular, like I said, Dragon, it's basically a montage. I'm sorry, not a montage, a monologue of manipulation. That's how I would describe this episode. And I'm very curious to see how we progress, but I'm just pretty much on track with the intrigue.
Oh yeah, and just as far as going forward, some episodes I don't want to give too much away. Some episodes might be a little more bunched up per how the story unfolds. We're not quite there yet, but honestly, Coming up soon we're gonna have a twofer. So very soon we're gonna have at least like a twofer, but it's more of like a gag twofer. But you'll see.
Okay, got it.
All right. Anyway. So yeah, Meet Steve. As to get into kind of the contextually, talking about Meet Steve, kind of the background, more so kind of like the kind of the buzz around Meet Steve. Meet Steve is actually one of the most pivotal episodes of the Joker.
Is it? Okay.
Meet Steve is my analogy is that Meet Steve is the domino being tipped over. So Arkham Bound sets the dominoes. Like we buy the dominoes with the first episode, we set them up with Arkham Bound, and then we tip them over with Meet Steve.
Okay.
So yeah, this is very much. So
this was like maybe the watershed moment of like, oh, this series could really be something.
Yeah. This was. Let me put it this way. I think the analogy and I think a lot of people would appreciate is this was the bags in the river episode. This was the big addicting kind of takes totally. 3 to be addicted to the Joker blogs. Being the old analogy. This being the third episode. This very much being like big bike lock kind of moment. So yeah, interestingly, not a whole lot of background, but it's interesting background. So this was shot before Arkham Bound. So they shot it out of order. So they shot this before they shot the previous episode we already covered. And basically when they were shooting this, you can kind of see it if you have a really keen eye. They were still trying to figure out the long hair versus the wig look. See, if you look at the very top of this episode, Joker has long hair like the pilot. When they were going a little bit more ledgery and going a little bit more just kind of like growing out the hair and making it look really dark.
Right.
Before they kind of cracked the code on how much better the wig looks. So what they did is they shot it twice and they kind of combined both takes. Basically, they shot the episode twice. Writing-wise, if you think about it, writing-wise, they really changed the format up because you think about it, okay, it's very simple. Harlene's off camera and she's talking to she's talking to patient 4479 basically in front of us, and that's it's you think that's going to be all the episodes, and this is the
Yeah.
first one that really kind of like you think it's going to go that way, you think you know how this show works, and then, well. He escaped his cell, as the Joker is going to do, and he's going to make mischief,
Okay, I'm really glad you bring that up, Dragon, because one of my favorite uses of the found footage genre is when we have different forms of media within the same movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Different footage that is found that connects together in a natural way.
You're really
And
gonna love where we're going with this, then.
okay, I'm on board. I'm on
Trust
board.
me. If you like Tiki, if you like that, you're gonna love it.
All right. I mean, Dragon,
Oh,
I am
right.
I could go on and on about how much even bad found footage movies, to me, there's still an element of immersion to them that I don't get with other types of movies. So, I'm addicted to the format.
So one last thing, and I think you're going to appreciate this. So when they shot this, they shot it, because you're probably wondering, we shot essentially the main set of the Joker blog so far. I'll say, so far is Scott McClure's basement. Kind of the creepy brick corner of Scott McClure's basement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty straightforward. And again, it does the job very effectively. Now we're in an office. And this is not a home office, as you can kind of tell by the big kind of window shot. We're actually in a building. So they shot this in a bank building on the 7th floor, like the office, like an office on the 7th floor. Now, it's so serendipitous when they shot this at the dead of night, because again, you saw like a nighttime shot. Shot at night, and this is probably back when you get away with this a little bit more than you can now. You're circa 2008, so I mean, not that far back, but still, like I think we're a little bit more tight on security these days.
2008 is starting to feel more like nostalgic and like a distant memory than I am comfortable with for my own mortality, mortality. I'm
There
sorry.
you go. So when they shot this, there was a night guard, and the night guard did not know they were going to be there. So you imagine this.
No!
You're gonna love this.
That'd be a big problem now.
I kid you not, literally, just like the scene from The Dark Knight, almost. You have essentially the Joker and two men carrying cases, which I mean, it's camera equipment and stuff,
dude.
but
oh my
coming
god,
out of
that's
the
crazy.
elevator. Much like, and basically this guard had a little bit more of a colorful response, but imagine, like, again, a terrified reaction, much like Michael Caine when he first saw Heath Ledger as the Joker when the elevator opened. So, literally, it's kind of like life imitating art or vice versa.
Okay, now I really want to see a biopic about the making of this. Because I'm sure that there's moments like that could be mined. Anyways.
Okay. So all that said, let's dive into it.
Let's meet Steve.
So at the top here, again, just to show you that we're really taking people out of the comfort zone here, like you think you know how this is going to go, as you can probably speak to. So we already play with the viral marketing aspect of the show, which is we have like a little kind of a disclaimer, and we vandalized the Joker has vandalized the disclaimer because now he's out of his cell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we see, of course, patient 4479, me, and property of Dr. Harleen Quinzel. I love the circled property. There's a lot of cool details here, Dragon. The circled property with the arrow next to me. Of course, put in. Let's see, psychiatric rehabilitation program never works. Location, outside my cell.
Great.
And then the notes, blah, 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 blah.
Boring.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Every detail of that is great.
So did you saw that one trailer for The Dark Knight that was vandalized by the Joker? He's basically drawn all over the.
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Identical. I love it.
And then Dragon, someone's playing with paint. I'm sorry. That's a low blow. But yeah, we get blood.
Yes,
it's charming. It's charming. It's not really convincing, but it's charming.
Well, again, these are like their animated series title cards, so they try to jazz it up memorably, so they have like the pooling blood effect. And again, they do change it up each time, so which is
I know. I appreciate that.
All right, so then so we start things off, and again, so this is actually the shot, the first thing they shot with the long hair. If you look at this, so we do like the handheld video thing, which is obviously a nod to the
I could tell that this was probably pretty early on. Yeah, it felt pretty rough in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, so and again, this is they shot this literally right after the pilots. This is them, and again, then they reevaluated things, and then things kind of became a little bit more smooth as they went on. So the point being, so like, we mirror the handheld video from the Dark Knight with the hostage tape, as he's escaped his cell, and he's basically, we think he's in Harleen's office. Says, we have to be quiet because I'm in your office. As he's going around stirring the pot, and he's just like, like paper.
Okay, Dragon, let me ask you about one detail that I noticed, and I'm not sure if it was like a detail or if it's just set dressing, all right?
Yeah.
There's a newspaper with the headline "City at War."
I was hoping you were going to find that.
Easter egg hunting, buddy. I noticed it.
Do you recognize it?
No, I was just wondering if it was just like a random newspaper they put into the background, or if it had some sort of bigger context.
Again, it's them playing with the viral marketing. When they were doing the elaborate viral marketing between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, they printed out the newspaper that basically you can go online.
Oh, so is that literally a newspaper from The Dark Knight viral marketing?
Yeah, I guess more so. I forget if technically it's between Begins and The Dark Knight. It's a City at War. It's
okay, that's another morally gray area, copyright wise, but I'll let that pass. But yeah, no, that's cool though. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So again, Joker, I love it when he does. He's like going around, I love like the wanton destructions. Like he's knocking all the papers all over the place. He's like, he grabs like as he's looking at the photos.
Oh, look at all these family members. I can't wait to meet them.
There's some crazy relatives there.
Oh, and look at your wife.
Wait, of course, this is great. This is
perfect. This is a perfect, like, Heath Ledger Joker comedy, Dragon.
A lovely picture of your wife, Joker. He grabs, like, the nameplate.
Like, it's so much in line with, like, like, hi, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I love like the one where every time he just drops that picture, it's like so casually. He's like he's always doing that in this, by the way. He's always like just dropping things casually, dropping like pictures and stuff, and I love it. He's just like, drops a picture, he checks the nameplate. It's always like the first impulse in his head. Again, dog chasing cars mentality, It's like Dr. Jeremiah Arkham. This is actually a big detail, Tiki. That picture and Dr. Jeremiah Arkham. That's going to come back big time. So remember that.
Jeremiah Arkham is going to come back into play.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yep. Dragon, I would have not guessed that.
Well, it's Stig. You've never really seen Dr. Jeremiah Arkham, so that's kind of saying something.
No, but I could have guessed it just because it's a big name, so. All right. Anyways,
I'm in the wrong office.
I'm in the wrong office. That's a perfect comedy beat.
Oh, yeah. So then we actually end up in Harleen's office. And now we're in Dr. Quintel's office, and we have this great image of Joker in the lab coat, like the doctor's coat, dressing.
I love that Heath Ledger's Joker loves to cosplay, Dragon.
I know, and that's the runner as well. That's what I'm saying. Honestly,
think about it. He's the soldier. He's the nurse. It's like it's part of his. Like I feel like he gets a kick out of it.
If I recall correctly, even he goes through a lot. He goes through several costume changes, especially in this first batch of episodes. We're kind of going through right now, like kind of the first arc, if you will, within our story. Like pretty much every episode after the first. If you count the glasses in Arkham Bound, then it's a different costume.
Sure. Which I totally do, because the glasses are very much like, oh look, he's turning Harleen into the, into the Joker. It's Harleen in his image.
Yeah, at least for the first 8, it's a different costume each episode.
All
right, so very much the inmates running the asylum personified in a look. It looks wonderful. So he's very much this. Let me put it this way, Tiki. Again, there is kind of a plan at play here of he is addressing the audience, and as you know, these videos are ending up on YouTube. He's got a friend who's putting this up on YouTube.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because I saw the video description, Dragon. Now I assume that for the time being, I should probably be following the video descriptions as like a little like morsel of more lore, right?
Yes, just never click on those links though. Those links are linking up. They're tying some threads together down the line. So just read the descriptions. But yes,
Just okay, got it.
right.
All right.
But yes, I mean, so basically, let me put it this way. Okay, so he in this video, this is purely the plan comes into play next episode, but right now he's literally just talking to Harleen. That's the main imperative here. So it's very much at face value this episode, where he's just breaking the Dr. Quinzel's office to deliver this message. And seemingly pretty, in his warped psychology, as a little thank you here. So that's what he's doing here. So basically, in answer to the question posed in Arkham Bound about have you ever seen a dead body? That's pretty much the theme of this one. The continuation of he said, stick around me long enough, you'll see one. And, well, lo and behold, I couldn't sleep. My mind was racing with everything we talked about. And I just had to tell somebody. And you're probably home, asleep, not care in the world, like Steve. And this leads to one of the great moments. I always love the body language, just like the look to, like, almost the dog, like, look like, who? It disappears off frame, and then plop down, Steve. So, this is Steve.
Say
hi, Steve. He's shy.
Perfect. Again, perfect comedy beats. Dragon. I will admit, when I was younger and The Dark Knight came out, back in the day, I was sort of hyped for The Dark Knight just because I was sort of like, oh man, I want them to make the Heath Ledger Joker as scary as possible. Like, I wanted to get like super dark and gritty and really play on my fears and play on my psychology. And I will admit, the first couple times I saw the movie, the humor of Heath Ledger's Joker threw me off a little bit, just because it wasn't necessarily what I was hyping myself up for. But obviously, on rewatch and re-examining the movie, it's like the brilliance of that character is that he's as funny as he is terrifying. So, I've come to really love the Heath Ledger comedy, and this show utilizes it quite well.
Oh yeah, they really lean into the comedy in really interesting ways here. So especially as it goes on. So so it's like the physical comedy with the dead bodies it's perfect. He's shy and not big on small talk. So this actor, by the way, this is Joey Kramer, and let me put it this way: he's gonna
Kramer.
Yeah, Joey Kramer.
I'm sorry, can we take a moment to appreciate that name is literally a blending of two iconic Friends and Seinfeld characters?
Yeah, it's quite...
Can we take a moment to appreciate that? I'm sorry, moving on.
So let me put it this way. This guy's going to come back, not necessarily as Steve, but not necessarily not as Steve. I'll say that much.
Oh, that's a good hint. That's a good tantalizing little tease there.
You'll be seeing, and some of our characters might play, like kind of like Clerks. We might see him come back as some different characters.
Sure.
I'll tease up that much with Joey Kramer. So remember that little cryptic tease, and we'll see how it comes into play. Again, to meet Steve is a very pivotal episode for a number of reasons, and we'll get to that down the line. So anyway. So now originally when they shot this, by the way, they tried to make it even scarier. They tried to have Steve's eyes open the whole time. The way they were going to do this.
Oh man!
They want to try to go in the full Mufasa, but
the full Mufasa.
No, but what
I love that. That's a verb now.
So originally, what they tried to do is they were going to do like a photocopy or of his eyes or something. They were going to basically
that would have looked weird. I'm glad they didn't go that direction.
Yeah, they tried it, and the problem was here's the thing, it actually looked somewhat convincing, but the thing that killed the effect was the lighting always made it look exactly what it looked like. It's this paper taped on the guy's eyes of open eyes, which didn't look good. So,
Sure.
C'est la vie. So Steve was kind enough to let me out of my cell for the night. It won't be making that mistake again. It took some convincing. He was worried about losing his job. But I told him there was no need to worry about any of that. Of course, he wasn't lying because he's not going to have to worry about it.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
That twisted logic. Yeah.
And then he goes into a shot where it's like, kind of like that iconic like horror movie, like flashlight shining under you. to get that sort of like ominous dark shadow look. And Drag, I love that sort of imagery. So that sort of imagery mixed with the Joker was just chef's kiss. Like on a fan film budget, it looks great.
You know what's great about that dude? There's a cheat, but it's so perfect. It's like a we don't care thing. It's like, where the heck is that lighting? It's coming from under the desk. Like, where is that?
I don't
light?
give a shit.
you know what my headcanon is to make it work smoothly.
What?
Yeah, we saw him just knocking everything right. Knocked like a desk lamp underneath the desk.
Yeah, I just don't think like. I mean, you're right. It is kind of like, you know, it looks so good. It's definitely an example of a weed.
Why can't there be like a desk lamp under the desk? I mean, why couldn't you just knocked it? You just knocked it over. We didn't see it. It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
It's still cool. All right.
I'd like to think that maybe, okay, here's my headcanon, Dragon.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that he had the shot set up. Like, he had, like, you know, he had, like, a spark of filmmaker inspiration. He's like, okay, I'm going to put this lamp on the floor and aim it up at myself.
You know, it's so funny you say that, because there is going to be a little, not a whole lot, but it's like a little dash of, like, the Joker wanting to be a bit of an auteur with the camera. Or again, it's like not. It's just more like him critiquing, like, you know, we could have a lot. We could have better shots here and there. It's kind of fun.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to that. All right.
So this is the first instance of 4479 trying to help and change Harleen. This is the first big like proactive.
Okay, this is some personal territory for me, Dragon, but this is straight up classic manipulation tactics at its finest.
Oh yeah.
And it is some of this might be hard to watch for me, but I'm down because I the circumstances I'm in without giving any details away.
Right.
But I mean, all I can say, Dragon, it is very on the point to like what real life, you know, like long-term manipulation looks and feels like. And so I'm very scared yet excited to get into that sort of on a series-wide level.
Oh yeah. So then basically, again, it's pretty straightforward, folks. The Joker's big imperative here, the lesson that he's trying to convey to Harleen is, see, life through the dead body is, life is shorter for some. And, you know, you'd be shocked how surprised people get when they find out they're not going to live forever. One day, their face is looking back at them, and it's old in the mirror.
Or dying. This monologue's terrifying.
Right, it is, right?
Like I Dragon, if someone asks me what my greatest fear is, like every single goddamn time I'm gonna say death. That is my greatest fear above all other things. Like the permanence of it, Dragon. The permanence of it fucking terrifies me. But and the suddenness of it as well. I mean, I can't even start thinking about it.
Yeah, I think the creepy effective thing with that here, with Joker, is the fact that he's essentially Gotham's Grim Reaper. When the Joker shows up, you know, it's like it's his decision. Like, you know,
totally.
you're a goner.
Totally.
Or not. Maybe just for a laugh. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just traumatized by it. That's the thing, is hearing him, this guy who's very experienced in like the surprise factor of death, giving you this life lesson. Again, there's a large degree of bizarre, twisted truth to what he's saying here, which is just even scarier. So it's like going like the whole, you know, like life is short. Essentially, either the face is old, looking back at you in the mirror, or you're dying of a terminal disease. Or you're stuck working in a mental hospital day after day after day. Which is why I brought Steve along for the ride. You wanted to see where I was coming from. Steve can show you. And again, he's turning all of her words and her questions in on herself in a really
which is exactly
way.
The manipulation tactic. That's just like, yeah, that's exactly how it's done. Just turn everything they say against them and just make them convinced that their way is the best way. It's gets under my skin, but in a good, effective way, Dragon.
It's going to get really interesting to see Harleen's response to this in the next episode. I'll tell you that much.
It's a good cliffhanger for sure.
See, a real dead, talking about the whole real, did you ever seen a real dead body? A real dead body, it's a lot different than what you see in pictures or on television. But what am I saying? Of course you'll know what I'm saying. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you find him on your desk tomorrow morning, long before you ever watch this. Just think of this as my gift to you, a little thank you basket for all the therapy. I would have gotten. I love this the little aside, little personal touch of like, he absolutely would have done this had he had the means. I would have gift wrapped him, but I couldn't find a big enough box.
Right. Totally,
Joker likes to do it up. And again, I love that we're kind of Nolanizing the classic Joker trope, where Joker absolutely would have like a big box and like gift wrapped it or something. But the old Joker works like he works fast, and to work fast sometimes you can't. It plays into the grunge factor. It's like you can't really doll it up all fancy and nice like, but it'll be well thought out though. It's like for all of it to kind of like kind of the Rube Goldberg effect of the plan, so to speak. All right, okay, let's see. So the point is, when you see Steve, don't think about me. Think about mortality. Focus on what you like to do versus what they tell you to do. Live each day like it's your last, because who knows? It just might be. And with the manipulation, there's a freeing yet threatening tip coming from Gotham's Grim Reaper right there. That's the thing. It's like it's freeing, but also very threatening.
Yeah.
Yep. Isn't that right, Steve? So before he leaves, just to complete the gift of it all, he he has a bow, just like attaches it to Steve's head, dead on the desk, and then my favorite bit, he has like a cute little tag. It's like bam, just like right on top of like Steve's face, on top of his eyes, and the tag says "To Harleen from Jay."
And Dragon, I think that right there, that is the Nolanized version of the Joker exactly, the elaborate gift wrapping for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Exactly. That's all you need, and it conveys exactly, like it's quintessentially a gift. And Tiki, I'm going to tease you something big with this.
Okay.
Joker accomplished a lot before this video.
Oh man, you are just do you have these cryptic teases all mapped out?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
I
figured. I love it, Dragon. I love the dedication. All right. Cool.
That brings us to the end. A little fritzette like we always end these with, a little to be continued, and there we go.
All right. Final thoughts, right? I mean, I can see why it was a watershed moment. I don't know what else to say. I'm super intrigued. I'm very much Dragon. It's one of those things where it's like, because of the format of the podcast, obviously, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna look ahead. Don't worry. I've got my integrity there. I'm not gonna cheat. But I wish I could. That's all I'll say.
Oh yeah, again, this is the addicting episode. That's why you're gonna feel it even stronger after this one.
Right, totally.
So,
if I could, Dragon, this shit would be binged in a night.
I know it would. Believe me. Trust me. You're gonna get to a point you're gonna wish you didn't binge it. And that's trust me. You're gonna want to draw it out. Okay.
Well, with this podcast, we're gonna get to do exactly that. So
things are gonna get fun though, real quick. So, final thoughts for me. Again, first episode, interestingly, of Joker solo. Solo. I know Steve's there, but he's dead. So, yes.
I'm sorry. A little callback from the other episode we recorded tonight.
Right. Point being, this is the first episode of Joker solo. Technically, it's very eerie, and it's again Joker monologue, Joker philosophizing in this episode. Joker with a point that he's trying to prove, which is always scary, especially when he has a camera in front of him. And it's just an excellent continuation from Arkham Bound with the dead body, with the dead body opening presented at the end of that episode, transitioning to this. It's it's the first domino to fall in a series of events that's going to get really great, going to get really intense, and it all starts here. And again, just philosophizing. Honestly, at the end of the day, this whole episode kind of boils down to Joker philosophizing about why he lives without concern. Like the goal of every comedian, in a sense, generally, is like you want to make the audience feel free from concern, and that's kind of the way he's kind of living his life here. Like, any day could be your last. Just just feel free to do what comes naturally. Go with that whole dog chasing cars impulse, which is what he's trying to, again, worked on Harvey Dent Wonders, so he's trying to impart something
right,
like
right,
that
exactly.
to Harleen, only something that's going to be more connected to him, it seems. He's having fun saying, can I therapize my doctor and get away with it? So it's short but very impactful an episode, and it's just the beginning, folks.
Okay, well said, Dragon. Why the hell did I close the tab that has the outro? Riff for a minute, Dragon. Riff!
Oh boy, folks. I'll tell you this.
I'm sorry, Dragon. I make a habit out of doing that. It's bad. Anyways, go ahead.
Harley is in for not a great morning. Not that we're going to see the morning, but we're certainly going to see the aftermath next episode.
Mondays, am I right?
And again, each episode, Joker has like a prop or something to work with, and he's going to have a fun prop or kind of a costume, if you will, to work with next episode. So that's okay. Going to be a lot of fun.
Dragon, I've got it.
Okay.
All right. Well, our time's up, and it's time to reseal the further evidence. Until next time, we attempt to answer the question, is there a method to the madness? With the Joker Blogs case study.
Say goodbye, Steve.
I'm in the wrong office.